how on earth the center of mass is so far back in this plane. I mean, there's nothing at the back. There's only blocks. That's it. Like, all the heavy stuff. The battery. How can the battery be so... There's no room for the battery up here anyway. That's not happening. The center of mass is just behind the wheel now. How heavy is that battery anyway? 60 blocks? What? How can that be so heavy? What's it made out of? I didn't... Wow, that's amazing. Alright, well, maybe we should just move the battery then. That's completely insane. I don't know if we can fit it in the front. Although, you see, the thing is, once this is loaded with fuel, you really don't want a heavy battery hanging so far forward. Like, it doesn't need to be there. It just needs to be over the wings, really. And that would ruin the cargo bay. Maybe instead of... Hang on, how much is that? That has a mass of 10. Maybe just have like 4 small batteries in the walls. I'd say put them in the wing, but we can't. It does annoy me that we can't actually hold dead space. Figured it's on me.
I don't come to you and say, is your plane working yet?
Oh, I saw you posted in chat saying right okay, so I presume you fixed it. I'm thinking we took the batteries in here. In the wall. Alright, so if I have a look at the electrical system. Let's see what we had go into the battery.
Right, I've cracked it.
Yay!
Well, you didn't. Someone in the chat did.
Yeah, but it's not. They're not describing it properly. The electricity that you're trying to pass through can't be double connected to any other electricity. It can only be connected to the electricity of the provided block.
These relays. Battery relay on. I've got a spare one for later. Not used. Right, so that's the output, that's the input. So we're going to go from the batteries to here. And then wherever this goes. I don't think that's right. Oh, that's the control relay, hang on. Battery. Hang on, I think I've confused myself. Got the fluid connector and the push buttons. They're connected directly to the battery, okay. So they need to be on the A side of the relay. It doesn't really matter, does it? They're permanently connected to the relay. So the push buttons for that. And the push button for the... So the fluid connectors and the push buttons are always connected to the battery via the battery relay. The battery relay also needs to go to the circuit breaker A. If we delete the main battery now, hopefully we're left with something that resembles what I want. Okay, so the batteries are directly connected to the generator and the fueling and the main breaker only. That's fine. Yep, okay. And then the breaker goes out to the other relays, which is the instrument relay and the controls relay. I think that's correct. Hopefully the sensor of mass has moved. Yep. Oh, it's still doing a wheelie. I can't believe it. How on earth is that still doing a wheelie?
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can the wing possibly need to go even further back? Or does it just want me to shorten the tail section, which effectively pushes the wing further back? The battery's gone? Battery H, thank you for 41 months. No virus will keep me from the best community in the world. Yeah, stay at least 2 meters away. Yeah, that works, that's fine. I'm pressing keys and nothing's happening. Why is that? Is that because I didn't connect the actual logic? Or did? I don't think the gyro needs power, does it? Oh, it does. Apparently it does. Controls relay. Yep, that will be that.
Welcome back, Nutter.
X-Day, welcome back. Thank you, man. It's still, even with weight blocks on the front, it's still pitching back. That is amazing. Okay. Ailerons are working correctly. Rudder's working correctly. Pitch is not. Pitch is not doing anything. Pitch is connected to up and down, that's why.
Welcome to the Nut House.
That's why. That'll fix it. Vasnahachi, I think it is. Thank you very much for subbing, Vaz. Welcome to the Nut House. Move the landing gear, why? Landing gear's in a nice position. I like where it is. I don't want to move it back just to counteract the mass. Like, we can adjust center of mass. You know, we can chop a tail section out and bring it forward. There's a possible fix. There's loads of ways of fixing this. Just take a chunk out like that.
Welcome back, Nutter.
It's moving. I don't know why, but it's moving. Mans, thank you for gifting us up to Beastie. Welcome back, Beastie. Seems to be like sinking into the ground. It's kind of weird. There we go. Now we've got pitch. Roll and yaw. We're good to go. Look, it's actually rolling. Your tail is too low in my opinion. I did mention that initially. I said this is quite low. But if we was to push the tail up, it's actually going to make things... It's going to give it, like, more torque on the plane. But in reality, you wouldn't put it there because you get the dirty air from the wing going over the elevator. You don't want that. But in this game, it doesn't matter.
Ready for a test flight then?
Not even start the engine yet. Right, what do we need to control the
Thanks
engine?
for that nice person in chat. I finally got Curly Toes winch working.
Yay! How do we need a pit to control the turbine? No, I didn't set up a parking brake.
There's now lots of things that we used to do that is now not going to be achievable without putting double winches in.
Happy anniversary.
Such as what?
Nutter.
So, you know your rear anchor thing on the back of your boat?
Yeah.
You've got a maggle and a small connector.
Yeah.
Without some logic,
Welcome
probably,
back, Nutter.
you can't just simply hook up the electric feed for the connectors. So if you put a single electrical connector onto the center of it to feed the two connectors, you can't obviously toggle them separately. You can only turn them both on or both off. Like I say, unless you've got some sort of logic that would then tell which side to switch on, maybe. But yeah,
Okay.
because you only get one. You get one center of control or one output, I think it's referred to. So e.g. the signal going down the cable is just on or off. There is obviously composite where you can do as much as you want.
Yoshi, thank you for almost 4 years, mate. Right, we're going to need some kind of parking brake button thing. Trying to think where we'd want to put that. The engine will keep spooling up out of control. A PID synchronizes the throttle to the turbine RPS. Okay. Okay, the power for this needs to go to the battery relay. So that it can be turned on instantly. And then the control for it. There's the parking brake. Now, what do people normally use for the actual brakes, the control of the brakes? What do you normally use for that? Like a throttle lever? A toggle? Yeah, but it says it's a variable brake. It says here variable brake, an input between 0 and 1 for soft braking. So presumably you want to use, I don't know, a throttle lever or something else that you can control it. It has both. Yeah, I know it has both, but one's effectively a parking brake, right? I can use up and down on this thing. We'll just leave that for now. All right, so what do we want to do to actually fire this thing up? Because we need to get this engine running. You don't bother with like soft braking. I don't have any nose wheel steering either. Kind of need nose wheel steering. Well, I don't know. I guess you could use the same. Left and right. We could try it. Have nose wheel steering on the rudder. I mean, it could end up reversed. That's the problem. We might have to invert the signal. It depends how the game works. Like when we press left, it might be turning that to the right. In order to fix that, we'd have to reverse the rudder. We'll see. We'll see what it does.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
MA90, thank you for double top 40 months, sir. Right, spool the engines, guys. What do we need to do? Electrical input for starting the compressor. So I guess that's... Is that going to be like a push button start or a toggle button start? We've got fueling. We're fine with fueling. What exactly gets the compressor going? Toggle unless you want to hold it for 10 to 20. Yeah, but when you've done it, do you have to like turn it off again? Hang on, what was the what's the control called that you can set a delay on that I used on the doors last time? Is it this? Stores an input off signal and then outputs it after a delay. Was it a delay? You remember, like, you set it and then it stays... No, not a threshold, I don't think. Threshold only comes on when you reach a certain value. Capacitor, that was it. That was the one. Yeah, if you use a capacitor... then we don't need a toggle button here. We can just have a push button here. That means you don't ever forget to turn it off. That goes to the capacitor. Charge time, nothing. Discharge time, 10 seconds. You think that's long enough? 10-second compressor. I wish you could make that longer. If 10 seconds isn't enough, then I don't know how we're going to fix that. 2 capacitors, maybe? You have to chain them to make them longer. Yeah, but I don't know how that'll work. Because you'd have to set the delay on the second one. Right, so how are we going to control this engine? What are the inputs? Throttle between 0 and 1. Rotation target. Standard of value setting the orientation within the range of motion. Wait, what? Rotation target. The standard value setting the orientation within the range of motion. Okay. The wording on that is horrendous. Thrust spoiler. So that's the thrust amount. Yeah, that was for the landing gear. Has nothing to do with the engine. It's just the wording on it is ridiculous. So the throttle goes between 0 and 1. How do we limit the RPS on this thing? I take it we just need something to govern the RPS. We can't set a maximum RPS like we can on the diesel engine. So I guess you need something to monitor the RPS and then throttle back. Use a threshold and get an output from the engine RPS to see if it's higher than enough, and you can turn a toggle button off so you're sure that it started. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. The PID or the throttle lever. What kind of RPS are we aiming for anyway? I can't really set a PID up unless I know what I'm trying to do, you know? Kane, welcome back. $200, really? I would have thought a turbine was spinning at like 20,000. Less than 200 else boom. You really want to be running it? Surely if you throttle back though, you want it to come down from 200. Good morning, homie. Oh yeah, that's RPS. RPM, correct. Drinks fuel when you're near 200, but it can run between 5 and 200. So if you attach your throttle lever, you can control it, but then you want something to govern it, right? I'm trying to understand why you need a PID. I guess what you want to do is take your throttle lever, which goes between 0 and 1, and effectively translate that to a target RPS, which goes between, say, your minimum 5, whatever the minimum stalling RPS is. So you work out what the minimum is, let's say 10, and the maximum's 150. So the lever controls the RPS and the PID handles the throttle to achieve that. Why can't you give the PID a name? That's really annoying. Proportional gain, blah, blah, blah. Wait, so how does it know what its target is? You set the throttle between 1 and 200, then send that to the PID. Let's get the throttle lever. So if we have the minimum value of like 5 RPS or 10 RPS, I really don't know what the minimum would be. And then we say the maximum is 160. Start value 10. First PID value 0.01, second, third 0.1. So if we say that, right? And then we output the throttle value to the PID's target value, set point, the desired value. So we want that as a target. We're going to read. Are we going to assume that both RPSs are going to work the same? Because we can't read two values at the same time. Do we need two PIDs for this? I guess we do, really. Is what we should do. Because if one engine fails, the RPS will tank, and it could blow up the other engine then. RPS. Annoyingly, I don't think I can fit it in here. Gang it. Just get rid of that relay. It wasn't being used anyway. Okay, set points coming from there. Process variables coming from here. Active on off. That's going to have to go to an on. Engine warning lights would be a great idea. Dude, you're trying to put icing on the cake before we've even built the first layer of the cake. We need to put some filling in there. We need to get another layer on there. And then we can start putting the icing on. And then if you want to, we can put a little cherry on top and we'll sprinkle it. But there's no point thinking about that until we've actually got a cake. You want sprinkles? Okay, we'll do sprinkles. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for 44 months. Controller output is going to go to the throttle of the combustion chamber. And then we need to set some values. 0.01. Something like that to begin with. Hard to say. Your PID needs to control the air intake and the combustion chamber. Wait, what? How can it do both?
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
How can it control the air intake? There's no control input for it. There's only throttle.
Some cake?
Yes, Moorcroft talking about cake. What is Squirrel's favourite cake? That's a tough one. What do you mean the front finger? These are outputs. RPS output. Are we trying to track the combustion chamber RPS, or are we trying to track the intake RPS? Like, what are we doing here? Probably go with something like Barra Breath or Angel Cake or Walnut Cake. You want the turbine RPS. This one. So we want this one. All the RPS are the same as it's on the same shaft. I would have thought so. I'm sure it's a common rail, isn't it? They're not going to spin at different RPS. Oh no, never coffee. I'd have a cup of coffee and a walnut cake, but not coffee and walnut cake. What's going to control the spoiler then? How do we get an on signal? Constant on signal. Spoiler would be optional. It says the airflow for reducing the effective thrust takes 0 to 1. What's the default? Okay. 1 means no thrust. Yeah, I know. I should probably put a fuel gauge somewhere. Hang on, I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to put a sensor inside, don't I? What's that fluid thing called that detects the... What's that unit that detects the space inside? There's a meter. There we go. Fuel, minimum 0, maximum, no idea. Let's say 20,000 for now. Why is it not sure? Oh, I didn't link it. Derp. Derp. Fluid level. You want the red to indicate the maximum?
Happy anniversary.
You want the capacity as the red needle? Or the level as the red needle? Blackbird, thank you for 63. There we go. 14,796.88. Let's call it 14797. One 4797. Yeah, I don't know why it's still rolling because I'm pretty certain the brakes are meant to be on by default. So the parking brake is here. Default state is on. Connected to the brakes. And they don't need power. So why is that still rolling? Jet A. Stop attaching it.
I'm not. I ain't touching anything. My hand was off the keyboard.
Did it just jump on its own?
Yeah, it's jumping up to the connector. I'll winch it in out of the way in case it grabs you.
Working a treat. At least the rotation of the nose goes the right way. I'm holding it Whiteland, but it is on a capacitor, mate. Nothing's happening, pups.
Do you have to have a little bit of throttle?
It's electric. That's what it is.
It's on a minimum of 10, so you shouldn't need that, right? What's the point? Why won't the throttle lever actually move?
You have like a main circuit breaker.
Is it connected to power?
You've got two. One says main, one says electric breaker off. What one's we?
The other one's not used.
Okay.
Have a look. Okay, the throttle lever didn't have any power. Let's go with electric B. Moorcroft, I decided after thinking about cake, it was time to enjoy a cup of Yorkshire tea. Go for it, mate. Right, can anybody spot any missing electrical connections before I spawn this back in and waste 400 fuel again? Wait. That looks like a missing electrical connection. Right, let's try that again. Drop some cheeky fuel, 400 litres maybe. It's not long enough, pups.
No.
Why does the underside of this plane look orange? That's so bizarre.
Sunset, right? Or sunrise?
Okay, let's try. Stand back.
Oh!
See, I know how to press it. Is that running?
No. It was.
I'm thinking the capacitor's not long enough. Maybe I have to press it twice. Press twice to start.
You're not burning any fuel at the moment.
That's interesting. So we've got an air compressor going, but we don't actually burn any fuel. Second. Let's set throttle to 100. Yeah, if we're not burning fuel, it doesn't matter what I set the throttle. The pit has a signal.
I thought they usually spool up like this and then like pop.
Yeah, they do.
So we've still got the same fuel we started with.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't used a micron.
Okay. Back to the workbench. I can't make the capacitor last long enough. That's one problem. Like the maximum time for the capacitor is like 5-10 seconds, and I need it to be more, I think. Nah, the integral value won't affect it, mate.
Can you just bypass the capacitor for now?
Yeah, can't you just get rid of it and just hunt it yourself?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If I just press the button and then press it again 5 seconds later, it still does the same thing. It turns it on. So every time I press the button, it resets 10-second timer. So I kept doing that, and it didn't make any difference.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
If it's a fueling problem, I think. Now, if we're getting fuel from the bottom of the tank, does it need to be pumped up, or will it just suck the fuel up?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought so.
The fuel wasn't going down at all, was it? So,
But I don't think it won't draw fuel until the turbine is actually throttled up. I thought the throttle up time was like 30 seconds or something to spool it up, ready for it to drag fuel. But I don't know. I've never.
this
I haven't
block's
filled
wrong.
with a
This
jet.
block's wrong. I think I found the problem.
Does that mean the other side's wrong as well?
So is that no fuel on both sides then?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. It's so hard because the arrows are broken at the moment. I think that's right now.
Should be enough, certainly.
Well, I was winching it in when you took it off the plane, so I don't
Okay.
know. It's an unknown quantity.
Like everything else in this game.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
All I know is Jack's got his work cut out for him if he thinks that these are all going to work as easy as they used to.
I don't get why they changed it all anyway.
No idea.
I mean, there's far bigger problems than that. Okay. And I only pressed the button once. The nose gear's collapsed and we're going places! Oh my god! What just happened? The brakes failed, the nose gear collapsed. It flows into the ground, that was amazing.
I'm on the other side of the runway.
Where are you? I don't even know where you are. Oh, there you are.
It killed me!
Oh my god. It's looking a bit scratched.
Do you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I was looking at that thinking, that nose wheel's not going to be sturdy enough.
I don't understand why the nose wheel collapsed anyway. Is it because the brake was on?
It
Could
might
have
be.
Oh my
But if the
god.
brake's not strong enough to hold the wheels anyway, then it's pointless.
Oh, that was fun. So, successful test?
You've successfully managed to travel 150 years.
Oh my god.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
NGC, remind me to never fly SquirrelPlus.
Shut it, Beaker. Oh, that wasn't.
It wasn't Beaker. It was Ben GT. Lemon, thank you for 4 years. 4th anniversary, it's 36 months, thank you. Oh god. Oh boy.
Oh. Yeah, so we were 150 meters from the hangar. That was all we managed to travel.
We'll use 6 to toggle the parking brake. Okay, so how can version 2 be improved?
Well, I don't know whether you want to swap out that pivot on the front for one of the larger robotic pivots or whatever.
Also, could you add a couple of seats so I don't die again?
Well, people said this was fine.
I don't think it'd help, Pups.
But I'd still be alive.
Hang on. Yeah, people said that the pivot on the front would be okay. I'm just wondering if it's because the brakes were locked, it just broke.
It could be. We could test it.
Like they just forced the engine, just collapsed it.
Was that full throttle then, or what? What happened?
It was on about 80 or something daft.
Right, okay.
I mean, all these values need to be tweaked, right?
So it was a bit like, you know, out of the gate kind of territory then.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Roll that on later, can't we? Maybe it's fine, just too much initial throttle, I think so. Logic to collapse that. Rotation target. And rotation target sets the rotation within the range of motion. The hinge measured rotation between Oh, okay. So now we have to work out a positive 0.25 should collapse that, shouldn't it? Positive should collapse that, and a positive. So yeah, if we send it 0.25, it should basically engine start, parking brake. I'm trying to think where to put the gear button.
Not just hot button on your seat.
We can.
For now.
Let's think. So I want to send a... What's it called when you switch between... You send it a signal, and it's a numeric switch, I think it's called. Numeric converter, switch box, this one. If we have one of these, and then first value on, second value off. So off is 0, which is the default. So we just need to add a constant number. I think that needs to be 0.25. Need 1. Why do you need 1? Okay. So if we send 1 to the on signal, and then send the gear number, hotkey 5, to that, and then the output of it, switch the value to the rotation target. That. Assume they've all got power. They do. So we change the pilot seat number 5 and say gear. Use a toggle button. Well, we don't need 2 numbers. We need the first number should be 0 anyway, so that should be fine. If you don't send it a signal, it'll have a 0, I think. Then we want some kind of indicator light to show the gear is up. Actually, you want the gears down, really. Should really send it through an inverter. Is there a way to detect the position of this thing? Current rotation. Thanks. Really, what you should do is measure this. But you should also have 3 indicator lights, which is kind of overkill. Just keep it simple for now. That's a numerical. You know what? I'll just keep it super simple while we're kind of running out of time here. So 5 will also invert that. So that's going to be a gear up light rather than a gear down light. So maybe we should make it red. Splash and dash. All right, here we go. Oh, the nose is gone again.
Yeah, that front pivot is not bad enough. Or is it the robotic hinge then?
That sucks so much. That hinge is rubbish, man.
So is it that the hinge needs a constant to stay static?
You guys need to get out so I can get it back. I don't think so.
Because that just literally like it's not got any power or anything. Like it's not sturdy enough, is it?
Well, I can tell you that it definitely has power. It most definitely does have power.
So can you not? I suppose can you not lock a hinge? You can't hold a hinge at a angle.
The thing is, the rotation target is being set now from the switch box, and the switch box should be sending it a value of 0. Check the pivot gear ratio and properties. Pivot gear ratio. Does it need to be lower or higher? I mean, would it help if it was lower? The other thing is, we seem to get through 400 litres of fuel very, very quickly. You leave for the spoiler at the end of the engine. 0 is for full thrust, 1 is for no thrust. Yeah, but right now we're trying to work out why the gear's collapsing. I've set it to 1-to-1 ratio. That's either going to make it a lot better or make it a lot worse, but there's only one way of finding out.
One to one is weak and 1 to 16 is strong. That's a pretty strong comment. Nope.
Is the parking brake on?
Yeah, the rear wheels aren't turning. So
Rear
is it
wheels
the
aren't
brakes-
turning.
Yeah, are the brakes still on then?
Well, I thought I'd turned the brake off. Hang on, I'll put a brake indicator light. Make that one gear, make that one brake. The trouble is, this starts in a default state, doesn't it? Parking brake is on. Wait a minute. Right, so that will tell you if the brakes are on. That one's just on a toggle. An RPS indicator. Why do you want that? You mean a display? We'll put engineering over here. Somebody can monitor engineering. Fuel. What was it? 17,947 or something. $14,797. Right. So that's going between 0 and say 200. And then finally, we want to take that and make it as strong as possible. Okay. I think I need to raise the either the rear wheel or lower the front wheel. It's either that or the tires are sinking, I'm not sure.
You could probably do with an extra block on the rear section of wheels, couldn't you?
I'm sure it looked level in the editor though. Okay, we're reading fuel on the left now and we've got RPS on the right. The brakes are off, I think.
Brakes are on, and the front pivots.
Hey, we're flying, boys, we're flying! Holy smokes, we're going to the moon! This is not controllable! Okay, I got this. I got this. As long as we've got battery power, I got this.
We've still got fuel, apparently.
I've no idea what the airspeed is. I've got a feeling the engine blew up. How much fuel have we got?
No, it hasn't blown. It's 350.
350.
We've lost the controls. And the battery went flat. Wait, did we run out of oxygen or something?
I then press the engine start again.
Can you kill the engine? Or something?
How?
How?
I don't know.
There is not an off swing.
It's not an off.
It's on a minimum of... Okay. I need to lower the minimum RPS or something. Every now and again I keep losing flight control. Brace, brace, brace.
You're not burning that much fuel. Can you do gear up for the lols?
Let's get some more speed then. Holy smokes, this thing is fast.
So hang on, why did the engines cut?
I can only imagine oxygen. I really don't know. I'm not controlling the fuel in any way. You see how it reignites when we come down?
Well, and said if the RPS is over 200, the engine will cut.
Well, watch the RPS meter. What happens?
It goes up to 12.
I think the PID's broken. I can't land it because I can't really control the speed. I literally can't land this thing. Oh my god.
This approach, man.
Hey, I got you down.
Oh!
I got you on the ground, didn't I? You're not dead. Front wheels collapsed. In fact, all the gear collapsed. I don't get it. I cut the main breaker, but the engine... I need a fuel cut-off valve. Like, you literally can't turn the engines off. It flies!
Oh my god!
Okay, so version 1's got a couple of bugs to iron out.
Yes.
Oh. I need to add a fuel cut-off so I can actually kill the engine.
You're nearly out of fuel.
tell you what though, that picked up speed and that was only a little bit of throttle.
See, our throttle either doesn't go to 0 or otherwise you can cut the engine to sale.
Yeah, you want it to perhaps go from 0 to 100, but then have it preset to 10 or something.
Puppies, he's running! Keep running, Pups!
Engine blew up!
Puppies was left and the right engine's blown up. He got absolutely thrown to the moon.
We've got no fuel left. The
I'm
engine's
coming in
blown.
hot.
Literally.
The right engine's on fire. Oh my god. I'm gonna do a Harrison Ford and land on the taxiway, okay?
I landed in the lake!
What, you in the lake?
Are you alive?
No, I died!
We're back safe!
We're back! Hooray! Hooray! We survived!
Yay! Oh, that was funny.
We survived! We survived!
Puppies died, no!
You sent me about 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah, you wasn't properly seat belted in your seat, that's why.
I didn't expect you to try and take off again.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, if that's not a screenshot worthy of a thumbnail, I don't know what is.
Oh, that was funny. Right, guys, I'm going to have to disappear. I'm going to have to stop there. I'm running out of time. Oh, dear. Right, I'll be back at 5.
What have you achieved in the last 4 hours?
I don't know, but it was quite fun at the end.
That was pretty good.
Oh, dear. Right, guys, I'll be back at 5 for some trucking. I need to sign out now, so I'll see you all in a bit. Take it easy. See you in a while.